Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Chall, and welcome to the second of our streams today. Today's second stream is on the Carabao Cup draw. So this is going live. Wait, this is obviously live now. The draw is scheduled for 2:30, so we've got a nice, hour until the draw starts. So we'll have a bit of a call in. I'll just tweet this out. StreamYard call in link in the live chat of the video now. Call in link, is pinned at the top of the live chat now. So I will get the link. I will pin it. And yeah, we will get this in. Let's do this. So so this is for the Carabao Cup draw. So comment down below who you would like to bring in. Who would you like to get in this particular draw? I actually do not mind. I actually don't mind. I don't get me wrong. I'd love an away tie. I'd love to get a new ground in potentially, but I would also much prefer being at home for the first round. I think we'll probably go away at some point during the cup or any of the cups, but I just personally prefer a home draw for the first round. Maybe I don't know. But we have put the StreamYard link at the top of the chat so everyone can come in. And we're going to get a bit of a conversation going now. Before we do, we'll just recap a couple of things that we went through in the first one. So first of all, the league fixtures there. So you got some key ones there. I mean, looking at some of the promoted and relegated teams and looking at some of the sort of big gates, should we say. Accrington on there. We'll go through each team anyway because we've got an hour anyway. So first of all, Accrington. Obviously, we host them on the 13th of April. And we go away on the 9th of December. So we go away first, then home. Accrington relegated from League One last season under John Coleman. John Coleman will stay as manager and try and get them promoted back up again. I think Accrington, for me, this is kind of like a bit of a preseason prediction in a way for the league, but Accrington, I don't expect to be in the top 7 this year. And the reason why is because I think Accrington are at a similar stage to teams like Gillingham and Wimbledon and us this time last year. I think that Accrington need a year in League Two again just to really find their feet under the table again and really take time to just build a team that's going to go back up again and try and stay in League One for a consistent amount of time. Like the previous team did. You know, Accrington still got some pretty good stars. Tommy Lee, who's been linked to a few League One clubs. They had Harvey Rogers. He's apparently set to sign for Grimsby, which I think could be a good signing for them. So Accrington just need that year or so just to rebuild again and bring in the next generation of stars for their team. Comment down below, guys, if you are a fan of any of these clubs and predict where you're going to think you're going to finish this season. Next up, AFC Wimbledon at home. It's the Remembrance Day 2023. The 11th of the 11th, and away from home it will be the 24th of February. Wimbledon, Johnny Jackson. Overall, they didn't have a great season last season, in my opinion. I thought they had a really poor season, if I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, looking at some of the players they've signed so far, they've brought in Omar Bouguil, who's a great striker. I think he's a wonderful signing for Wimbledon. I think over 150 games for Sutton, fan favorite for sure. decent striker. I think he's got a great scoring record in recent years, and definitely a good option for the club. Obviously bringing in Newfield from Luton as well, bringing in Jake Reeves, some experience there from Stevenage. They've let go of a few people. Gunter's retired. So Wimbledon's going to have a very intriguing campaign in the next season. And by the way, I didn't even go through who Accrington. If I'm going to go through signings so far, I might as well go through everyone. So Accrington Stanley, who did they sign this year so far? They've not they've not brought in anyone yet. They've got rid of Mitch Clark. They've got rid of Reece James Fenlon, Joe Hardy. Mancini, a former Burnley youngster, so he's gone as well. So, Accrington are going to have to really spend some time here bringing in, the next crop of players. Wimbledon, I think, are going to be, again, I'd say either just, I'd maybe say just outside the top 10 at the moment, just with how tight the league is. Barrow, Pete Wild's Barrow. Again, my pick is the dark horse for the playoffs this year. We host them on the 20th of March. We go away on the 30th of September. At least that's a Saturday fixture and not a bloody, Tuesday game away from home. At least we're going, at least we're going to be on a Saturday. But they brought in some good players. They brought in Drfc for a bit of experience up front. Kean Spence, a very, very promising midfielder. Proctor, another experienced striker. They brought in David Worrell, who is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated signings in the division this year so far. I think he's been fantastic for Port Vale, and I think he could really go under the radar amongst all the big names, shall we say. They have got rid of a few people. Obviously, Pavel Zuk is a free agent. I think he's been invited back pre-season, but I'm not too sure. Gordon's gone to Burton Albion. Patrick Bruss gone to Northampton in League One. Ellis is gone. Moyo's gone. Benny Braithwaite's gone. Solomon Nebuoke's gone. Maloney, Moyo. So they've got rid of a few. And, it's going to be interesting to see how Barrow cope with the season. Next up, then we've got Bradford City. Good old Bradford. Good old Bradford. Not straight away this time. Bradford at home will be the 23rd of December. Bradford away will be the 20th of January. So that's going to be a bit of a wait for Bradford, but it will be worth it because we'll get them, not too far from each other. The two games. They brought in 4 signings so far. Kevin McDonald from Exeter. Clark Adair from Barnsley, Patterson from Harrogate, Ash Taylor from Kilmarnock. I think Patterson's the best of the 4, and I said that on the previous stream. Looking at the players that have gone, Folds has gone to Harrogate, Abu Weiss has gone to Grimsby. That's a good move for them. Clayton's gone, which I think is quite interesting. Threkeld's gone, Wood's gone, Skells has gone, Songo's gone. Couple of younger players has gone as well. So again, I think Bradford's, going to replace their stars, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Living Feature says, really want to draw Leeds away. It would be an amazing game for the fans and players. Last time we did take on Leeds was in the Carabao Cup in 2015. So nearly 10 years ago. So that would be a pretty good anniversary. Let's stop the rot before it hits 10 years. There we go. Next up then, Colchester. By the way, in terms of league predictions, I think Barrow will be the dark horse for playoffs. I think Bradford could just finish either inside or just outside the top 7. I'm still to make my mind up on a couple of teams yet. Colchester. Under Ben Garner, it's their first full season under Ben Garner, the former Charlton and Swindon boss. They've brought in some younger players for their under 21s. They haven't brought in really many first teamer talent yet. They've got rid of a load of experienced players: Chambers, Eastman, Hannant, Hughes, George, O'Hara, Sears. Scouse is retired. Tommy Smith has gone. Scouse, in fact, is now going to be managing Bury Town. So congratulations to Cole. I need to put my tweet out. StreamYard links at the top of the chat, of course. If you're waiting backstage, then do not worry. I will get through this as soon as possible, and we'll get you all on the show. But Colchester at home is the 28th of November. Away is the 12th of March. Colchester, I don't think they're going to struggle as much as last season, but I think we're looking here at a sort of lower mid-table finish for Colchester this year. Again, just with how tight the league is, I just have this thing about Colchester where I just think, I mean, don't get me wrong, if they bring in the right people in terms of bringing in talent, then I think they've got a chance. But again, I think it's going to be interesting with them. Crawley. Now then, this is going to be interesting because on the one hand, they got Scott Lindsay, who got them into some decent form going into the end of the season. But on the other hand, that ownership, man. This is going to be intriguing indeed. I personally think Crawley are going to be in trouble this year, and it's not just because they haven't brought in anyone. Obviously, they've got rid of a few players. Anthony Grant, bit of experience there. Jordan Much, obviously an ex-Rovers, loanee back in the day. Ludwig Franciolette, who could be a good backup in League Two, National League team, backup in League Two, National League starter somewhere. Tony Craig has left as well. So again, that's going to be intriguing indeed. Obviously, Tony Craig, I think it's gone to Dorking in the end. So again, that'll be a good move for him. But yeah, Crawley, I expect to be in trouble this year just because I just don't have faith they're going to push this year. Crew Alexandra, Crawley, we host on the 3rd of October. We go away to them on the 29th of March. So that's going to be intriguing there. Again, I think one of them is a Friday. If we beat Crawley 4-1 under Schofield, well, first of all, it was under McSheffrey, but yeah, imagine McCann. I'm not going to rule out any game. And the reason why is because League Two is the tightest league, number one. Number two, any team can turn up on any given day. We could perform 100%. We could perform 100%. We could give everything we've got, and someone could still nick something of us. It all depends on certain things. But Crawley, I expect to be in trouble this year. Crew, host them on the 9th of March, and we go away to them on the 25th of November. Crew then, obviously the assistant manager is gone. They've still got Lee Bell as manager, as far as I'm aware. Yes, they have. In terms of signings, they've loaned in Harvey Davis. I think that's a really good signing for Crew. He's an efficient shot stopper at youth level. He's got a bright future in the game, and he's just not ready to take the step up to first team football yet. So he needs that senior loan. They've got rid of a few. Mellor's gone, Sambu's gone, Amu, Lawton, McDonald's gone to Harrogate, Ainley's gone. So I think the Crew going to be interesting with them. See where they go from here, and what their season is going to be like next season. And yeah, let's see what Crew does. I think they're going to be mid-table this year. Next up, then, one of the relegated teams again, Forest Green Rovers. We host them on the 23rd of March. Away from home, it's the 16th of September, which is interesting. They brought in Ryan Innes from Charlton, the first summer arrival for Forest Green. They've got rid of a few people, though. Cargill's gone to Mansfield. Hendry's gone to Tranmere. Stevenson to Portsmouth. They've released the likes of McGee, Moore Taylor, Lewis Thomas, who I believe has gone to Harrogate. I think he's now a Harrogate player, as far as I'm aware. Or it might be it's a different. No, forgive me, it's different Lewis Thomas. He's the Burnley goalkeeper. But yeah, Lewis Thomas from Burnley's gone to Harrogate, I believe. But yeah, Forest Green have brought in his 6'6" centre back. He's got nearly 150 games across League One and Two for Cheltenham, Port Vale, Newport, Charlton. Spent some time on loan at Dundee as well. So I think they've got a player across the board who knows his stuff. Forest Green, I think, again, like Accrington, they're going to need a year back in League One before they start challenging at the top end again. And again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Forest Green. Obviously, it's a new stadium for me. It's a new stadium for many of us. It's going to be our first league fixture, like football league fixture against them in our history. So again, good to see us breaking some records with them. And yeah, definitely very interesting indeed. Gillingham, we host them on the 23rd of September. And we excuse me, go to their ground on the final day of the season, the 27th of April. Of course, it might not be the final day of the season, depending if the playoffs or anything to go by, but we never know. But Gillingham, they brought in Max Clark from Stevenage, who I thought was a signing for us. I thought that was going to be a good signing for us, but we chose Senior, which I think is a good choice anyway. I think either I'd have been happy with. Connor Masterson, centre back as well from QPR and a permanent. That's a good deal for them. Johnny Williams as well, the 11th hour from Bradford, from Swindon. Obviously, was going to go to Bradford. Came to Gillingham at the last hour. I think that's a really good deal by Gillingham. You know, they did really well with the negotiations there. Obviously, some outings as well. Alex McDonald's gone to Stevenage. Jordan Green's gone to Ramsgate. Akehurst to Hastings. Caskett's gone. O'Keefe, Page, Reeves. So I think Gillingham again. It's going to be interesting to see what they do this year. You're not at work today, Chall? No, I've not been called into work today. Hopefully tomorrow. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I think Gillingham, like I said, they've got a decent squad, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they do next season. Harrogate Town. They've got they've brought in Folds, Daly, Gibson, McDonald, Thomas from Burnley, as I said. McConnell's retired. Patterson's gone to Bradford. Wright and Angus released. So they've improved more than they've digressed. I think Patterson's a massive, massive loss for Harrogate. But if they bring in the right replacement, there's no reason why they can't finish above the drop zone again this year. I don't think they'll be challenging the top end of the table, personally on paper, but I think that Harrogate will definitely be within a shot of I think they'll be within a shot of escaping the drop. I don't think any more than that, though, unfortunately, in this particular instant. But overall, like I said, I think it's going to be interesting from a Harrogate point of view to see how their season goes. But again, we'll just have to see. I think, like I said, I think Harrogate is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, we host them on the first day of the season, and we go away to them on the 6th of January. So, again, it's going to be interesting. Grimsby, another nice game there. They always bring a good gate, which is nice for them and nice for us as well. Under Paul Hurst, of course. They've brought in some good players. Danny Rose, experience up front. Vernam on a permanent. Isa from Bradford. Donovan Wilson from Sutton. Malarkey from Rochdale, who did well at Altrincham as well. So they've brought in some good talent there. They've brought in some really good talent. Obviously, you can see the dates that we're home and away to with these games. I think that this season for every league is one of the best and the tightest it's been a long time. 100 million%. 100%. Next up then, Mansfield. So yeah, you can see the home and away ties on these screens. So I'm not going to go through the home and away ties like dates, etc. because we went through them in the video. But yeah, they are on your screen anyway. Mansfield. Again, they've brought in a couple of good signings. Cargill, McDonald, Swan on a permanent. That is a good signing. Danny Johnson going though, I think could be a real shame. Obviously they're not really used him much, but I think with his experience up front, I think he'll do a football club the world of good. I think he'd be a good addition for any football club who's looking for an experienced striker. MK Dons, they brought in Gilby, Harness and McGillivray as goalkeepers, Norman at right back, but they have released the likes of Jamfi, Johnson, Bradley and Lewis, Kai, David Martin, Joshua Catherine's gone to Oxford, Jack Davis gone to Banbury United, Ravizoli, Tenai Watson, I think is a miss for them as well. So I think, again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I think there's some players there to pick up. Morecambe, also relegated like MK Dons, Accrington and Forest Green from the League one. Chris Stokes from Kilmarnock brought in just recently. They've got rid of a load of players, though. Stockton to Burton, Beaker to Motherwell, Gibson to Harrogate, Duffers to Barrow, Crowley to Notts. They've also got rid of Delaney, Cooney, Ganoa, Hunter, De Silva Mendes, Niasse, Ripley, Pepper Soare. So again, it's one of those. It's one of those where I think Morecambe's just going to have to stick with it. I think they're going to need more than a year in League Two again to really bounce back. It's going to take more than a year with them, and especially with what's going off the pitch. And it's going to be one of those, in my opinion. Jameson and Wood come into Newport this season. It's their first full season under Graham Coughlin, but I believe they're looking for a new chairman, as far as I'm aware. So again, that's going to be interesting. What home and away games you're looking forward to the most? For me, Wrexham away and Notts at home. I'm thinking the same thing as you, mate. I think Wrexham away, Notts away, Bradford away, Grimsby away again, Bradford again. Try and tick off Gillingham, try and tick off Harrogate, Crawley now as well. Tick off Accrington, MK, Morecambe, Forest Green for the first time. Tick off Crew as well. I've tried going for it 2 or 3 times now and still haven't been able to tick it off yet. So hopefully try and tick that off at some point. So yeah. Mudrick to Rovers, gear over. What time's the draw, Chall? It's at 2:30 on Sky Sports. So that starts at 2:30. Chall, do you think Andy Butler will sign? No, I don't. Unfortunately, I could do his experience, to be fair, but he's going to sign somewhere else, in my opinion. But yeah, next up then, Notts County. They've made some pretty good signings so far. They've made some pretty good pieces of business so far. They brought in Crowley, they brought in Jones on a permanent, they brought in McGoldrick, they brought in Randall, who's a good player. Obviously, Rodriguez has gone to Pompey. Cairo Mitchell's gone to Rochdale. Ed Francis has gone to Gateshead permanently. So there's been some ins and some outs, but I think Notts County's got their situation covered. I think they'll be right up there this year. I'd be surprised if they weren't, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think Notts going to be in any trouble with the top end of the table. Next up then, Salford City. Under the guidance of Neil Wood once again. They've not really brought in anyone. Torre's gone to Stockport, of course, but they've lost a lot of players. Eastham, Lowe, Mariappa, McLaughlin, Melhado, Narty, O'Brien, Porter, Sargent. Obviously, our ex-loanee Samoes has gone as well. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see who they bring in this year. I think, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Stockport County, of course, playoff finalists. Of course, they lost to Carlisle United, but I don't think Stockport fans want to be reminded of that. They brought in young Billy Chadwick as well as Torre. They've got rid of Devonport, Hussey, who's got Sanford Walsall today, Ryan Johnson, Phil Bardsley for a bit of experience elsewhere. So I think Chadwick and Torre are 2 very good signings for this level. They brought in some really good signings there, and again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens from there. Next up then, Sutton United. Sutton needed some kind of big rebuild here. But they've started. They've started well. They brought in Christian Engerson, who's had a great season at Ebbsfleet. Steve Arnold from Southend, bit of experience in goal there. Omar Swanumi, who's been a great defender for Bromley this past season, but they've got rid of a lot of talent. Boogie's gone to Wimbledon, Randall to Notts, Alistair Smith to Lincoln is a great signing long term. Kwame Thomas has left, Donovan Wilson to Grimsby, Lovett's gone, Gambin's gone, Enzio Boldvine's gone to Eastleigh. So I think that's a good signing for Eastleigh to try and push up the league. again, I think Sutton's going to have one of those years where they're going to have to really bite the bullet here and just stick it out and just try and build from there. Really, I mean, Sutton could be more in trouble this year than last year, but I I think they might be safe. Just Swindon. Haven't brought in anyone yet, but they have got rid of Williams to Gillingham. Morgan Roberts gone to Brackley Town. Baldry's retired. Shout out to Matteo Baldry, a former Rover. Harry's is gone. Massey's gone. Parsons, Darbury, Coznado. I mean, Coznado's Welsh, so I'd expect him to go to the Welsh Premiership, in my opinion, or somewhere in the non-league pyramid. Darbury, I expect to go somewhere else. Harry's, I expect to drop down a division, maybe. I mean, again, Swindon's going to have to really rebuild. It's their first season under new manager Michael Flynn, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. Tranmere Rovers, they made a bold call, bringing in Ian Dawes as permanent manager, but they've brought in some good business so far. Christian Dennis, experienced from League Two, up front from Carlisle. Regan Hendry on a permanent from Forest Green. Connor Jennings is back at the club. He had some great memories there as a striker from Hartlepool. And Luke Norris, another striker with experience from Stevenage. So their front line's getting better. They've released a few talent. Dacres Colgate's gone to Bolton. Jameson to Newport. Nolan's gone. Mumbongo's gone. Hewelt's gone. Hoti's gone. Burton. Ryan Stratulis, Jack Williams, Matt Fisher from the youth as well. So, again, Tranmere have got rid of a lot, but I'm sure they'll keep bringing in a lot to replace them. Penultimately, we've got Walsall. Obviously, they signed Chris Hussey today. They've also brought in Ryan Stirk from Birmingham on a permanent deal, which I think could be an interesting one. In terms of going out, our ex-striker Andy Williams has gone to Hereford. That's a good move for Andy Williams. That's a good bit of experience that Hereford's got. So shout out to them. They've also got rid of Connor Wilkinson, Hayden White, Sam Perry, Makuna, Montfey, Maddox, Labadie, Kinsella, Clark, Timmy Abraham. So again, some outs there, but I'm sure Walsall have a plan under Matt Sadler as permanent boss to bring in the right talent. And then, but I think Walsall could struggle this year. And then finally, Wrexham. They've got rid of a lot of their talent. Jake Hyde's gone to Yeovil, Lloyd to Cairnarton Town, Austin to Cairnarton Town. Harry Lennon's retired. Reece Hall Johnson and Rory Watson among the unattached. There's no inge yet for Wrexham. But again, I'm sure that they have a plan under Parky. Now then, we've gone through the clubs. You've seen the dates of where we're facing them. What about the Papa John's Trophy? Well, we've got about half an hour until the draw for the Carabao Cup. But there we go. So Papa John's Trophy, we've got Burton Albion, Mansfield Town, and Everton under 21s. So first of all, Burton Town under Dino Mamria, Mansfield Town under Nigel Clough for another year, and obviously Everton under 21s. And their manager, just checking now, actually, their manager. New under 21s manager Paul Tate. So Paul Tate is the manager. I believe Leighton Baines is part of the coaching staff, as far as I'm aware. I'm not too sure. I'll have to have a look at this. So Everton's new under 21s manager Paul Tate. This is back in August 2022, so I don't know if the manager's changed since then. So he was promoted from under 18s, and Baines was his assistant. So Baines leads the under 18s, and Paul Tate leads the under 21s. I will just double check just to see if that's changed. I will use Transfer Market to double check, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think it's changed since recently. I don't think so anyway. Just trying to check now, actually. Check Everton itself. Check the coaching staff. Yeah, so under 21's head coach is Paul Tate. Under 18's one is Leighton Baines. Obviously, Paul Tate was the ex-Barrow player. He's played for Northwich Victoria, Crewe, Bristol Rovers. So yeah, so he's a Newcastle upon Tyne lad. So he left. So he got promotion to Conference National in 08, scoring in both playoff semi-finals for Barrow. Then joined Everton in a full-time coaching role and left the Bluebirds in 2008. He coached the likes of Barkley and Dowell, so he's got a record of coaching young talent and a history of developing young talent. So yeah, it's going to be interesting there. I've not actually seen that. I've not actually seen that, to be honest with you. There's not none of it's popped up anyway. Yeah, nothing's popped up. So, I mean, send the article, please. Someone put the article link in the comments section, and I'll have a look if you've got it. Yeah, it's true. Afternoon, everybody. Afternoon, Nats. How are you feeling? Obviously, Darren Moore's not manager anymore. How are you feeling right now? All right, Faz. He and Chansiri have disagreed over budget. Oh, interesting. Herbering for a young winger from Newcastle. No, I don't know. I don't really know. If we're gonna get, I mean, we've got our young winger anyway, and Tyler Roberts. So if we're gonna get another one, I'd expect it to be a permanent one, and like maybe one of those younger players on a permanent. Right, guys, I'm going to take a few minutes just to get everything ready for the Carabao Cup draw, and we will be back. So I'll leave you on a loop. Which I don't like doing, but I'll leave you on a loop ready for the draw, and we'll come back. Right, I just had to take a few minutes then just to get my head together on that. But yeah, so the StreamYard link is pinned at the top of the chat. So please do call in if you're ready, when you're ready. I'm trying to get some people on. I'm trying to get some people involved as well. Here we go. We've got Connor back. Connor, took a few minutes to take a break, but oh, my head's banging, man. But yeah, one cup draw down, one cup draw to go. Next one coming in 20 minutes time, 20 plus. What are you thinking? I mean, is Leeds still the hope, or are we kind of gearing towards an easier draw to try and get through that first stage?
I think that we might get an easier draw than Leeds.
That's what I'm thinking as well. I mean, are you expecting? Who are you expecting? Are you expecting a League Two tie? Expecting a League One club, or
I'm expecting Barrow for our first draw.
please don't say away.
No.
Oh, thank God for that. I mean, Barrow at home would be a good one. I mean, if we can get past one of the dark horses in the league this year, in the cup, that'll be a good start. So let's talk about the Carabao Cup then. So obviously, we know as Rovers fans, it's a competition we are not going to win. We know that unless some miracle happens, like if we have like a bloody Brighton or Sheffield United or Grimsby type cup run like they did last year, like it's not going to happen.
No.
What would be the expectation from a cup perspective? Like if our main focus is the league and our main focus is to get promoted back into League One this year, what would be the expectation for the cup? Where would you want to see us go to? And then after that, it's just try and go as far as you can.
I'd expect us to get to round 3.
3.
And then just focus mainly on the league to obviously get back up into League One.
Okay. I think that's fair enough. Like I said, I think I said on the last stream, I said round 3 or 4. Now, obviously, these different teams have different numbers. Obviously, they're going to draw the south section and the north section. So I believe, so if they've got a north section and a south section, if I'm thinking about this correctly, are they going to draw? Is it just going to be North v North teams first? Or is it going to be someone draws a south number, someone draws a north number, and those teams clash in a fixture? How's this going to work?
I know last season they did North v North and South v South first.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it could be North v North and South v South till like round 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Thinking maybe that, because obviously for those of you who don't know, in the first round last year we got Lincoln City, and we know how embarrassing that was. What was it, like 2-3-0 defeat, something like that, and like
3-0.
the 3-0, yeah. So it was 3-0. The South stand was a bunch of young teenagers throwing the tops and that in the stand and embarrassing the. Well, I'm in fact no, I'm not going to name names because it's not about names; it's about collective. But I'll be honest with you. Yes, they thought they were having a good time, but in my opinion, and I think in other fans' opinions, it was embarrassing to watch. The fact that
Yeah,
3-0 and they were all about having a piss up and a celebration, it didn't sit right with me. I think it just said everything about the club at that time.
yeah.
But hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't have a repeat of that this particular time.
Hopefully, because obviously with like they're doing that, it's just making our job for security deals.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think you've covered your mic.
Even with the fans, what they've done, they should actually give the players respect for what they've done through the past
Yeah,
year.
yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's. I just want to just go past round one. If we can just get past round one and just better last season, I'll just be happy. So for those of you who need the draw numbers, so for North section, obviously we are number 12. The full numbers then, in detail, are number 1, Accrington Stanley. Number 2, Barnsley. Number 3, Barrow. Number 4, Blackburn Rovers. Number 5, Blackpool. Number 6, Bolton Wanderers. Number 7, Bradford City. Number 8, Burton Albion. Number 9, Carlisle United. Number 10, Crewe Alexandra. Number 11, Derby County. Number 12, Drfc. Number 13, Fleetwood Town. Number 14, Grimsby Town. Number 15, Harrogate Town. Number 16, Huddersfield Town. Number 17, Hull City. Number 18, Leeds United. Number 19, Leicester City. Number 20, Lincoln City. Number 21, Mansfield Town. Number 22, Middlesbrough. Number 23, Morecambe. Number 24, Notts County. Number 25, Port Vale. Number 26, Preston North End. Number 27, Rotherham United. Number 28, Salford City. Number 29, Sheffield Wednesday. Number 30, Shrewsbury Town. Number 31, Stockport County. Number 32, Stoke. I'm doing a Jeff Stelling. Stoke City. Number 33, Sunderland. Number 34, Tranmere Rovers. Number 35, Walsall. Number 36, West Brom. Number 37, Wigan Athletic. And number 38, Wrexham. Well, I think if we're going to get a team from a higher division, I would like to play it smart, either home or away. I would like West Brom. And the reason why I would like West Brom is 1, the Hawthorns. Number 2, I think they're going through a pretty rough time as a club at the moment. So I think there could be I think Cobra may end up leaving, or he'll be a manager on the ropes, and it's not entirely his fault. Number 3, I think you can cause an upset there. I think you can there's a chance to cause an upset there. And it's nothing against Corberan as a manager, because I think Corberan's a brilliant manager. He's brought an excellent style of football. I think he can get the club far. But I think with what's happening off the pitch right now, I just think there's that little burden, or that big burden, hanging over West Brom until that gets sorted. So I think West Brom could be a target in that particular draw. I mean, look at some of the other numbers. Obviously, we used to, in previous years, we faced Walsall, we faced Stoke. In previous rounds, we've had a go in the past with Gillingham, as far as I'm aware, from the south section. We had I think we had Rex. In fact, the 2005 Carling Cup run. Of course, the Carling Cup was the former name of the Papa John's Trophy. Of course, it was the original, one of the original names from back in the day. We, in the 2005 Carling Cup run, when we had our run, including City, including Arsenal, we lost out to Aston Villa, beating them 3-0. We had the 2 games in between City and Villa before Arsenal, and that was Wrexham and that was Gillingham. So Wrexham wouldn't actually be a bad tie. John Ryan said he would put displays in the South Stand this season with a massive flag. I think this will help with the atmosphere. Definitely. He did say at the event at the Dome last week that there will be they're going to sort something out with the flags. They're going to sort something out with, I think it might be a case of the waving flags, but I think they might also try and sort out one of the massive rectangular flags, but I'm not too sure yet. So I think they're going to definitely sort out the waving flags, but I'm not too sure. Like, they're going to sort out or not. Um, Hello to Lloyd. Welcome to the stream. First round is always seeded. That's fair enough. When does the draw start? It starts in about 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes. So that should be just.
I was going to go to the event last week at the Dome, but I just couldn't make it because I had a driving. I had driving
Yeah,
test
yeah.
to do.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the event itself was basically a Q&A with an auction, and it was the ability to raise money for season tickets, give away free season tickets, and just build that thing about the club again, and just really build up momentum about the club again. And to be honest with you, I think we needed that kind of event. I know some people were like, it was a bit. Some people I spoke to was like it was a bit anticlimactic, and they were expecting some more surprises on the night. But I actually think it was a good. I know they still thought it was a good event. Don't get me wrong, but I think some people were thinking something exciting was going to happen on top of everything else that happened. So, but for me, I think it was just right. I think it was a confidence builder. It was exactly what the club needed, exactly what John Ryan wanted to do, exactly what we all wanted to get involved with. And for me, I think that we did well with it. I think it was a well run event. We sold home shirts, we sold season tickets, and like I said, we're getting closer and closer to the 5,500 mark. Try and get to the 6,000 mark before the start of the season if we can, and we'll be in good shape. We'll definitely be in good shape. We're definitely bringing the fans back. Get a display like we had in the Crystal Palace FA Cup match. What a game! Yeah, I think that could be good. Like I said, if you can try and sort out like a massive like flag that we can just scrape across the top of the South Stand like Bradford do. Which I think could be a nice atmosphere builder, and it could really bring the fans back into the fold. But there we go. But there's a lot of things happening around the club. There's a lot of improvements happening around the club. There's the new billboard in the opposite corner. You've obviously got the big screen in one corner where I'm sat, and then opposite that near the away end, you've got this new digital billboard that's going in for the season. You've got other things going around the stadium. You've got paint ups, you've got refurbishments, you've got maintenance, etc. We're doing some stuff around the ground. So again, it's amazing to see all that
Yeah,
happening. It's great to
yeah.
see all that happening.
I was at the ground last month for when they did a varsity game for colleges, and there was actually doing refurbishments there, and yes, and there was James Coppinger there as well, and even the board,
Mm.
and they was doing the meeting themselves, obviously planning everything what they want to happen this season,
Mm.
doing refurbishments, make and this and also they were doing. I think they might be getting some new nets for next season.
Nice. Fabulous. I mean, I did see something on Coppinger's story last week that was like they were showing off. It looked like a new wall or something, like a new like design graphic wall in either the training room or somewhere in the stadium. I thought it looked brilliant. I thought it looked like a really nice job. But yeah, like they're definitely doing a load of great work around the stadium. They're definitely, I think we can definitely say with complete confidence that they're investing money into the club again, which is fantastic to see. I think they were investing money anyway, but I think just not a lot of it was on show. But they really are investing money into the club. They really are.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend earlier, and even he's saying they're investing a lot into the club, but he says he says that he wants one player to sign, but I said to him he will not be signed back for us because he's already retired. So
Yeah.
my mate wants James Coppinger to come back for a season or just for 6 months, and I went, he won't come back for that. Too old for it. He's too old for it now.
Yeah, I think people need to. I mean, look, look. I get why people want Coppinger to come back, but it's just a case of he's had his time. We're moving on. It's a brand new era. Let's just move on. Just let him do his thing. Just let him enjoy retirement. Who you wanting to draw, Chall? I mean, I wouldn't mind a big gate like a West Brom or a Leeds. I'd also love an easy tie, or I won't say easy because not every game can be easy, but I would like to get someone like a Harrogate or a Crawley at home, someone like that. You know, on paper, a tie that you'd think we'd pass through. But again, it's going to be interesting to see. I'd like to see us tested, but I'd also like to see us go through.
Yeah, even for the draw, there's one team I'm hoping not to get, but we might get them,
Who's that?
and that's Bolton Wanderers because they won
They're
it.
tough. Yeah, they won.
Bolton Wanderers won it. Brighton are a good team now.
Yeah, if we go past
Man
round 3 and get the Premier League clubs, they could be a tough one.
Man City with a treble.
Oh man.
They're,
I
they're
mean, I
some
mean,
tough ones on top.
if we get City coming to our ground in a further round in the Carabao Cup or in the FA Cup, we probably won't go through. But imagine the scenes coming into the ground, and imagine the scenes if we do.
Yeah, but the
I'm not saying
biggest
we are, but imagine the scenes if we do.
if we do get Man City, probably the biggest scene we'll ever have. But I don't think it would happen.
I
Is
think
if
we
we
could literally
beat
sell out the
City.
ground.
If we beat City at home, that would probably be one of the most biggest shocks probably in Rovers history. Beating City at home.
I'd probably agree. I would probably agree. I'm just looking at honours now. Um, yeah, so yes, I think you got the Bolton trophies mixed up. They won the Papa John's trophy, not the Carabao Cup. But yeah, I can see your point there. They did win a trophy.
Bolton, they've got a few good players like Charles. He's a good striker for him.
Yeah,
James James Trafford, the goalkeeper.
I don't know if he's coming back this year. I'll be honest with you, but I think that they brought in Dakers Cogley at right back from Tranmere, who's a really good player. That apparently are set to sign Kane Wilson from Bristol City, which I think again could be a good young right wing back style player.
Main player
Um,
Alfie May, because his contract with Cheltenham did end, but I don't know if he signed a new one or
I
gone
know
to.
he's got another year left.
Hmm. After
Um,
after that year, I think he might leave Cheltenham Town.
yeah. In fairness, Chall took the piss in that charity game. He definitely he did. But to be fair, yeah, I think we could give Man City a game. If that's ever the day, I swear to God, I will eat my own shirt. And out of context, child, don't clip that if we end up beating them, because then I'm going to have to end up doing it and then be sick all over the place. Bolton won the Carabao. Yeah, it's all right. We've established that. United at home. Yeah, I think that could be good. That could be a big gate. We beat City in the cup before. That's true. Different City though. How would you feel if we got Josh Martin back for another season on loan? He's left Norwich, and I don't think he's going back to Barnsley. He's out. He's actually out of contract, so he's available for a permanent deal. So let that sink in. Now this is content, Chal. But yes, 3 minutes until the draw. So Connor, as usual, I will put you backstage, mate, and then I'll bring you back on when the draw is over.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Right, so we're going to keep our eyes peeled for the draw. Keep our eyes peeled. But yeah, overall, like I said, I think it's going to be interesting to see who we do get. Like I said, I wouldn't mind either between an easier tie or a big home gate. I'll be honest with you. By the way, for those of you who saw that thing early this afternoon about this HMRC wind up, just to add some context to the whole HMRC thing, a payment was made. No funds are owed to HMRC, and the money was allocated to the wrong account, and the issue is being rectified. So that was like months and months ago. So I wouldn't worry about that one bit. I'm pretty sure some of you, it's the first time you've heard about it. But there we go. Josh Martin would be a serious signing. It definitely would, especially when you've already got Tyler Roberts, who don't get underestimated about Tyler Roberts. I know a lot of people on social media are like, "Oh, people acting like they're experts." They didn't mention me or anything like that, but they were talking like, "Yeah, some people are not experts, etc." And we'll see how this goes. I've looked at the highlights of this guy. I've looked at the stats of this guy. I've seen character profiles of this guy. I've looked at all the Sky websites for this guy. He is a very exciting player. Very exciting player. And I would get very excited about Tyler Roberts. I definitely would. So yeah, you've got Roberts, you've got Hirsch, you've got Molyneux, you've got Taylor still in there. Loan out Calera and De Grucci, you've got a strong winger set up there already. You just need that one player to cover either side. And I think if you're going to need someone strong that's match ready, Josh Martin could be the guy. What's the draw on Chall? Sky Sports. Yep, it's on Sky Sports News. The live stream starts on the YouTube channel for Sky Sports Football in a minute. Could get Rotherham. Yeah, that could be interesting indeed. What number are Rovers? They are number 12. They are number 12 in the Northern draw. I think it's going to be the same as last season. I believe it's going to be a case of North v North and South v South. So it's going to be like the Papa Johns, where they do they draw the northern section first, and then they'll draw the like southern section afterwards. That's probably going to be the case here. But there we go. But we are waiting for the draw now. Meepo breezed under 21s games, then looked lost for us. Only really looked decent last 5 games this season. Yeah, I thought Meepo had a bit of pace about him. I thought he looked all right last few games this season. I thought there were some games where he was trying, some games where he looked lost. Chuka, Griffiths. Yeah, again, I think Rio just needs there's a reason why Rio Griffiths is transfer listed along with Lavery. I think they just need moves elsewhere just to get that first team football, because Rio and Lavery, with all due respect, are not going to get ahead of Ironside or Miller at this point. So it's better to just get them off the wage bill and let them enjoy the football again. Don't get like Rio's a great guy. I want to keep in touch with him. Same with Carolan. Not been at the club for a while, but I still want to keep in touch with them. And they're great guys to hang out with. And yeah, I think they'll be, they're going to be missed as people more than anything. Bring that lad back on for his live reactions. Well, I'm just gonna keep it as me during the draw, and then we'll bring him back in when we have the draw finished from the north and south, as we did for the Papa John's stream. Do you think we'll get out of the Papa John's group? Yes, I believe we will. Do you speak to Lavery often, Chell? We speak after games as usual. I sent him a message when he joined the club. Just to say like welcome to the club, etc. And then I sent Rio a message. I think I sent just Rio a message at the moment. After we learned they were transfer listed, just to say best of luck, etc. But yeah, Lavery, same name. So yes, they've just started the live stream now. They've just started the live stream for the draw, so we will find out who we are getting. Obviously, it is the last stream of the day. There'll be a video next week from the NBA content, because the Denver Nuggets obviously won their first title in franchise history. So we are going to be chatting to an NBA journalist. That video has been editing for the last 3 weeks. It's a big video. I am saving up because I'm supposed to be speaking to a couple of other journalists as well and make it one big video. But yeah, so one person that we're working with on the video is Ayatunde Onabolu, who is an official NBA journalist. He's an analytics in basketball. Basketball play-by-play announcer, sports host, sports analyst. Great guy. And so he's in on the video. He's going to be he's going to be sharing his thoughts on Denver's title. certain individuals speaking about what they need to do to make it 2 titles in a row next season, and all that conversation. So if you are a bit of an NBA and a little bit of an NBA basketball fan, then do stay tuned for that video. That is a great video. I can't wait to release it. Like I said, we've got a couple of other people we're going to speak to before we release that video. We'll try and get all those filmed this week. But yeah, so Michael Dawson and Danny Chall are doing the draw once again. And yeah, we will find out who is going to be drawn out. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see who will be drawn. But there we go. But yes, so let's go. So here we go. Here is the first round Carabao Cup draw beginning. So they're going to start with the south section this time. They're not starting with the north. So first of all, Plymouth Argyle, of course, promoted to the championship as champions under Stephen Schumacher, and they will join number 16, Leyton Orient, promoted to League One for the first time in quite a few years under our ex-manager, Richie Wellens, our ex-player, Richie Wellens. Number 13, Forest Green Rovers, relegated to League Two. Looking to bounce back, but like I said, I think they're going to need at least a year in League Two just to really rebuild and bounce back. They will host Pompey, of course, under the former Burton Albion defender Jose Mousinho, who brought in some great signings, including Terry Devlin of Glentoran. Swansea City next. The hosts, of course, they just lost manager Russell Martin, but are set to appoint Michael Duff, the Barnsley boss, as their new manager, as Russell Martin goes to Southampton. And Swansea draw Northampton Town, of course, promoted to League One under John Brady. Number 12, Exeter City. Of course, great season in League One. Just signed Vincent Harper yesterday from Eastleigh. Great signing. They host Crawley Town. Struggled in League Two. Just escaped relegation last season. Jose Mousinho. Yeah. Centre back for Burton. Number 15, Ipswich Town. It's number 12 for the northern section, Shay. Exeter's number 12 for the southern section. So Ipswich draw Bristol Rovers. So Joe Barton will travel to Kieran McKenna's championship Tractor Boys. So number 19, Newport County. Hosts, of course, Graham Coughlin, his first full season in charge of the League Two team. They will host Charlton Athletic in League One under manager Dean Holden. So yeah, Shay, we're number 12 in the northern section, they're number 12 in the southern section. Next up, Stevenage hosting Steve Evans, promoted to League One. And they're going to host number 33, Watford. Wow, under new head coach Valérien Ismail in the championship. Number 8, Cheltenham Town under manager Wade Elliott. Of course, set to lose Alfie May this summer, but they're about to sign Rob Street on a new deal, a permanent deal from Palace. And they host Birmingham City, of course, managed by someone who we interviewed for the job a while back for us, head coach John Eustace. Number 30, Sutton United under Matt Gray, who want to rebuild their team and bounce into League Two again this season in League Two. And they host Cambridge United, next League Two team, who just stayed up on the final day of League One. Next up, MK Dons. Of course, now managed by Graham Alexander. They want to push for promotion back to League One as soon as possible. Of course, relegated from League One this past season. And they will host Wycombe Wanderers, who are currently in League One under the new boss, Matt Bloomfield. Of course, Gareth Ainsworth, not the manager anymore. Of course, it's at Queen's Park Rangers. Number 17, Millwall, who will be travelling to the Den to take on Gary Rowett's side. They will host Reading, of course, relegated to League One and they'll be taken over by new head coach, or set to be new head coach, Ruben Sellers, the ex-Southampton boss. AFC Wimbledon, obviously under Johnny Jackson. They want to rebuild on last season's poor campaign. Who will they be bringing into Plough Lane? They will be bringing in Coventry City, of course, missed out on promotion to the Premier League under their manager. So will they bounce back this time? Number 3, Bristol City, of course, under Nigel Pearson. They brought in some good players so far. in the Championship, and they will host Oxford United under Liam Manning, who brought in some great players so far, including Josh McCaffrey and, of course, Notts County's boy, Ruben Rodriguez. Number 14, Gillingham, under Neil Harris, the ex-Cardiff boss and ex-Millwall boss. Gillingham, of course, wanted to bounce back to League One in the second attempt, and they will host Southampton, recently relegated from the Premier League, will be taken over by ex-Swansea manager Russell Martin. Number 26, speaking of Ainsworth's team, Queen's Park Rangers, who will they be hosting at Loftus Road? They will be hosting Norwich City in the Championship under the ex-Huddersfield manager, David Wagner. Number 23, Peterborough United under ex-Rovers boss Fergie, Darren Ferguson. And going to the Western Home Stadium, if it's still called that, is Swindon Town under their new boss, Michael Flynn. Will they build on their finish in League Two this season? Will they be pushing for promotion? Number 6, Cardiff City, of course, going through a whole heap of financial trouble at the moment, but they're still in the Championship. They're still within a chance of staying up this year. They host Colchester United, of course, under Bangana in League Two. So I believe that's the entirety of the southern section done. From the looks of it, so that's the southern section finished. So if they are going to show, yes, they are going to show. Here are the full fixtures of the southern section in detail: Plymouth Argyle versus Leyton Orient, Forest Green Rovers versus Portsmouth, Swansea City versus Northampton Town, Exeter City versus Crawley Town, Ipswich Town versus Bristol Rovers, Newport County versus Charlton Athletic, Stevenage versus Watford, Cheltenham Town versus Birmingham City, Sutton United versus Cambridge United, MK Dons versus Wycombe Wanderers, Woolwall versus Reading, AFC Woolden versus Coventry City, Bristol City versus Oxford United, Gillingham versus Southampton, Queen's Park Rangers versus Norwich City, Peterborough United versus Swindon Town, and Cardiff City versus Colchester United. So that is the southern section, and we'll wait for the northern section. And we'll look through your comments while we do. We took Liverpool to a replay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. FA Cup, third round, Liverpool, 5th of January 1974. I've seen pictures of the old programme from that game. I haven't got it, unfortunately. I'd love to get my hands on a programme from that game. I'm one of those younger fans that likes the heritage of the club. I like the olden days as well. I'll go back and watch and read stuff about the olden days. So yeah. Right, northern section. Here we go. Number 24, Notts County, managed by Luke Williams, promoted to the Football League after a few years away, and they will host at Meadow Lane. Number 20, Lincoln City under Mark Kennedy. They've brought in some brilliant signings so far, including Sutton's Alistair Smith, and of course, they brought in Reece Hackett from Portsmouth. Bolton Wanderers at the Macron Stadium, obviously under Ian Evatt, wants to try and get promoted to the Championship, and they will host Barrow. So Bolton host Barrow. So my prediction and Cole's prediction is out the window completely, because that's two teams that I predicted and he predicted. Hull, number 17. Hull City under Liam Rosenwar from the Championship, and they will host us. We're going to Hull. Okay, round 1 might not be. I think round 2 might not be happening now. Mansfield Town, number 21. The hosts, Nigel Clough's team. Who will they be hosting? We're going to Hull. They and Mansfield will host Grimsby. It's an all League 2 tie. Can't wait to go to the KCOM. Stoke City, number 32, who we got at some point in the round last year. Obviously under Alex Neil now, and they will host at the Bet365 or the Britannia Stadium, whatever it's called now. West Brom, who I was looking for. So yeah, so there we go. Next up, number 29, Sheffield Wednesday, hosting, of course, no longer managed by Darren Moore. We don't know who's going to manage them at this point. There's talk about Stephen Gerrard, but I don't believe in bookies at the moment. They will host Stockport County, managed by Dave Challinor. from League Two. Of course, missed out on the promotion to League One in the final of the playoffs, which they don't need reminding of. Leeds United at Ellen Road, managed by, we don't know yet. And they will be hosting number 30, Shrewsbury. Two managerless teams. Leeds chasing Vieira or Farke. Shrewsbury rejected by Gavin Strachan. Preston North End, managed by ex-Plymouth boss Ryan Lowe. And going to Deepdale will be number 28, Salford City, under Neil Wood, the ex-United Academy boss. But yeah, we are going to Hull City. Number 27, Rotherham United, who will be going to the New York Stadium. Let's see. Number 23, Morecambe. So this was a League One fixture 2 years ago. So it will be a Carabao Cup tie this time. Harrogate Town, who will be going to Simon Weaver's Harrogate Town. I'm not going to stay on long, by the way, because I'm knackered after the draw. Carlisle United. So this was a League Two tie last season. It will now be League Two v League One. Burton Albion, they made some good signings this week under Dino Maria. They brought in Josh Gordon and Cole Stockton. It's a good signing if they work the right way into him. Oh my God, Burton host Leicester. Burton host Leicester City. Of course, be interesting to see what happens to them this year under the now ex-City assistant Enzo Maresca. Accrington Stanley, who are they? Well, they're in League Two this year under John Coleman, and they'll be hosting at the Wham Stadium. Bradford City, Bradford going to Stanley. Interesting indeed. Liam, lower league look. Give us your thoughts. Derby, who's going to Pride Park? Let's see what happens there. And Derby will host Blackpool. They'll be hosting Blackpool, relegated to League One. Port Vale, number 25. Of course, they've got their assistant as the new manager now, Andy Crosby. And Port Vale will be hosting Fleetwood Town under Scott Brown in his second full season as manager. Next up, number 2, Barnsley, who will be going to Barnsley. Of course, they'll be set to lose their manager, Michael Duff, to Swansea, who, of course, Russell Martin goes to Southampton. And Barnsley will host Tranmere Rovers under their now permanent manager, Ian Dawes. Not many balls left in the pot. Blackburn Rovers, who will be going to Ewood Park. Don't forget, 2020, we were at Ewood Park in the COVID season behind closed doors. And Blackburn Rovers will host Walsall under Matt Sadlier. So Blackburn made a really good signing, by the way, from CSK Moscow this week. So really high-rated attacker. Huddersfield Town under Neil Warnock for another year or so, I believe. I think it's another year or two. But anyway, Neil Warnock's managing this year. And Huddersfield will host number 22, Middlesbrough, an all-championship tie there. And there's not a lot of balls left. There's only like 2 fixtures left to draw, I think. Number 38, Wrexham. Who's going to the racecourse in their first Carabao Cup match in a long, long time? Their first EFL Cup match in a long, long time. They'll be hosting financially troubled, but now saved by new ownership, Wigan Athletic from League One. And finally, that leaves us with Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. And travelling to the Stadium of Light, if we get the mathematics correct, the mathematical mathematics correct, it will be number 10, Crewe Alexandra, managed by Lee Bell in League Two. We're off to the KCOM.
I don't think we're going to even get past round 1 here.
I mean, it is Hull. First of all, it's written in the stars with Grant McCann being ex-manager. Secondly, it could also be written in the stars that we do a job on Hull to get one over on for McCann to get one over on Hull. It could be written in the stars here either way. Are you feeling storytelling wise?
I just don't think we're going to get past because Hull, they're a very good side.
They've got some good players. They've got a new ownership since we last faced them in League One. Oh man, I mean, at least you get to tick off the cake on this year.
Yeah.
I've got to speak to Hull about getting my camcorder in the ground.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is going to be
But
an
if we
absolute
get past Hull, and then get an easier second round, then we've probably got a chance of getting higher up.
I would say so. Again, depends on the round 2 draw, though, to be fair. Looking at some of them other draws, though, I mean, Wrexham hosting Wigan. There's some high ones there. Leeds hosting, Leicester hosting. I mean, there's some big ones in there.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the reaction. Yeah. I'm looking at some of the reaction on social media. There's someone's already got a chant if we win. We're gonna maul all the Tigers, maul all the Tigers. We're gonna maul all the Tigers. But then we can just flip it on ourselves if we lose. But there we go. But yeah, Hull. You know what? I think it's. I mean, first of all, like I said, you couldn't write it. I mean, McCann's either gonna get screwed over or he's going to screw them over. It's going to be one of those two things.
Yeah, but that Grant McCann managed Hull, then he'll know a lot more, and he'll probably know how to counter how they play.
Well, again, like I said, it's going to be interesting. I mean, man, this is. I'm a Hull City fan. Good luck for the game. Good luck, my friend. Good luck. Old Grandpa Joe, the Hull City YouTuber. Collab this season, mate.
Yeah, but that Grant McCann's going back to Hull for a game. I'm thinking, what are the Hull fans going to be like with Grant McCann?
Oh man. To be fair though, Grant McCann, I swear he only got removed as manager because the new ownership wants a new manager. I swear that was the case. I think he was on a bad run anyway, but yeah, new owners, new manager, new everything. Yeah, pretty much. So I swear I think he'll want to get one up on Hull. Maybe Hull has the number, but I don't know. I think, like I said, it could be one of those giant killings. It could be a typical walk in the park for Hull. We don't know, do we? So, but it's a good test for our side. I think it's a good test for our team. It's a good test for some of our starters to pit themselves up against opposition that we want to be facing on a league basis in, let's say, 5, 6, 7 years' time. So I think it's a perfect test for us. So there we go. But that's going to be it for this day, guys. Connor, thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. And for now, I am the CHALL. Let the season begin.